Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is the first ever StreetText. What should we call it? StreetText Coffee? StreetText Lead Generation?
I love
conversion?
coffee. Let's call it StreetText Coffee.
All right. And if you're tuning in, a couple things. We have worked with thousands of real estate agents now. We have literally converted hundreds, if not thousands, of leads as well. And when you're tuning in, we interview all of our top clients, all of our best clients. We go through their processes. We learn about what makes them so successful, everything from their mindset, their strategies. Marcus really deep dives into the processes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment, and this particular week we're actually really featuring Jen Ivey. And we want to break down something that she does. It's really, really cool with her leads. It's so simple, something that you can implement today. And as I'm going through it, if you comment below on this video, I'll actually make sure I send you exactly the email that Jen sends, as well as the text message that she sends. And also, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe so you can stay in touch with all of our newest videos. We're going to be deep diving. We actually have a whole bunch of clients coming up in the next few weeks here. And I want to make sure that you don't miss any of that great content. Some of these tidbits are super useful, super valuable. I want to make sure that you get them.
100%.
So Marcus, just before we get into Jen's email, a little bit about Jen, maybe some of her results. What have you learned from her so far?
Well, I mean, Jen, the great thing about Jen is real estate's in her blood. She's been doing it, I believe, 6 years, but her mom was a realtor before. So
great coaching, some great training.
Great training. She got right into it. She had a great mentor in her family. And so it's in her blood, but she has somebody who's always leveraged social media. She was a firm believer that she's supposed to be on Facebook. And she tells me that all her marketing and advertising has always been geared towards Facebook. So every time she's generated something new, it's been as a result of Facebook marketing and advertising.
So I love that, because even before she met us, she was, building up a community in Facebook. She was building up her influence in Facebook. She had a Facebook page that she was growing some followers. But tell me a little bit what happened when she started trying to run her own ads.
Well, she was doing pretty well with attracting buyer leads, but she couldn't figure out the seller lead equation. So she read some stuff about us, which is great. I always love getting referrals, because she read that we are pretty good at figuring out the seller lead generation equation. And so she's like, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a try. And she knew right away, as soon as these leads started coming in droves. I mean, and it's funny, because Facebook is a funny place. You guys, I'm sure, all have an experience that they have an ever-changing algorithm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I mean, it really comes down to testing the market out and trying out different areas, trying out different ads. It could be particularly zip codes that you want to test out. It could be expanding into a county. So we're always working with Facebook. We have a great relationship with them, so we just spend so much money with them.
Yeah, being 2018, I mean, this has been the year. I mean, this has been a tough year for Facebook. They've made a ton of algorithm changes. And for advertisers, especially if you're someone on your own and you're just trying stuff out, it's pretty hard to keep up. It's like a full-time job, just trying to learn what's working, what's not working, why it's not working.
So she had the unique opportunity to leverage one of our ad specialists. And when we went and set out the ad, we were able to find a opportunity, or I should say an algorithm from Facebook that would generate multiple leads a day. In her case, she was getting about 5 or 6 full submissions daily. But the key is we can generate leads all day, but if you don't have a process or a way of getting that lead to dialogue with you, it's going to be hard no matter how many leads we send you. So I really think that really comes down to, and I read something the other day, it said 90% of results are process, 10% luck. I think a lot of realtors that I've experienced rely on luck, or they think that the auto generator or the auto reply is going to start the conversation on their behalf. Jen really found that she took her own personal approach, and it worked pretty fast. Like she was able to figure it out. She was able to simply send an email. It wasn't video, it wasn't anything different. It was text, but she took command of the situation, I should say, or the opportunity. She asked a question, and she gave 3 options in that question.
So just as we deep dive into that, because that's really why you're here to learn and get better and implement something that Jen's doing, so you can do it for yourself as well. And I was actually just talking to Marcus about this before, because even you, real estate agents that are maybe following StreetText or curious about what we do, very few of you ever land on our website and sign up for a trial the first time you get there. You're following us. and you're following us, you're learning about us, you're receiving value, and over a period of time, you then raise your you then take action, and you come into our trial process, and then maybe you become one of our customers if we can show you some value along that side as well. And the reason I say that is because that's exactly the same process of lead gen across the board. It doesn't matter if you're working with a company like us or if you're generating your own leads. Keep in mind, we always say that the seller leads are a few months out, but really what we're saying is that there are a few touches out. They need to receive some value. They want to be pulled in and shown like almost like some courtesy, like give them what they were looking for, add in some additional value, build a little bit of a relationship and some rapport with them. There's so many great tactics to do that. Try to keep it as personal as possible because you're a likable person, and if they could just meet you and interact with you a little bit, suddenly you're going to start building not only likability but trust as well. And lo and behold, this person's going to reach out, and it's exactly the same for us, for our leads. It's going to be exactly the same for you, for your leads. And I think the mindset, if I could just say one thing prior to us diving into email, the mindset of I'm going to run an ad, they're going to land on my ad, and they're going to want to buy right now on that spot. Even if you think about e-commerce like Amazon, people do research. Sometimes they buy if they've heard a referral and they say, I got this product, go buy it, and that can happen. But a lot of people start researching, they start looking, they start reading some reviews. They start,
biggest decision of their life,
and then they'll buy, right? They'll buy something, but that's e-commerce, and it requires some research. Imagine what it's like when you're going to sell your home or buy a home, right? Like there's going to be a window there of research. And so I think that there's the realtors that always win thrive on adding value and actually desiring to build a little bit of relationship with their clients and building, establishing trust. And the realtors that are hoping it's going to be like a lead that just says, come list me or come sell my home or whatever it is, they're really going to struggle.
Well, I mean, take a step back though. Before all that, you got to understand that people who are advertising and marketing on Facebook, it's not like Google SEO, it's not like Zillow, it's not like Trulia where people are actively searching for something. Facebook marketing, advertising, Instagram is something that we're all just scrolling down our news feeds. We were never there considering selling our home, or we were never there looking to buy something. So it's a passive style of marketing.
Yeah, you're tying into their subconscious. They see something that they're like, oh,
interesting. I want to know what I could sell my home for.
I think it's more than knowing what I would sell my home for. I think they're actually thinking, it skips by people that have no consideration. But for those people that are thinking to themselves, it's somewhat on their brain. Something there is in their brain, and it's connecting subconsciously, which is powerful. And then it's pulling them in, and they're taking action. But like you said, it's not like they were actively going out there on another site. Everybody's on Facebook or Instagram. That's where they are. We put the right message in front of them. The subconscious is receiving it. And sometimes they don't even know that they even did it. Like, they're just, like they're on to the next thing, like Marcus is saying, they're scrolling down. But it's the same as me. Like my wife and I, like, we're not going to sell today, but if we found the right home, we might. But it's on our mind. Something's on our mind. And if a realtor is beginning to build a relationship with us, and we could accelerate that really quickly if a realtor was asking us the right questions and actually found us the home versus our own passive approach, we're barely searching. But if somebody was asking us questions and began to put listings in front of us and said, this is the perfect home for you and your family, we might find ourselves selling in like the next 30 days, even though we didn't think we were going to sell. And I think that that's just the power. It's the difference between somebody that's just hoping we're going to sell in the moment or realizing where we're at, adding some value, asking some questions. And I guarantee if a realtor came and my wife saw an ad, she put some information in and she filled out a little bit of what she was looking for and listings started coming in, what she was after, we might have sold already. Right? True. Okay.
So well, I mean, so that is one thing to consider. And Facebook will do, and they've figured this out in terms of they'll be able to track right away if that ad that you're running is relevant. The relevancy scores that they give it, often the feedback is determined within the first 500 people reached. So you can find out within 24 hours and about $10 of ad spend if that particular campaign you're running is going to work. I mean, and there's some circumstances where you need to give a little bit more time, but in general, that's why you need to test out the market. That's why you need to run an ad with an ad specialist who understands Facebook algorithm, understands performance standards, your target audience, also understands how to generate click-through, because Facebook will measure that ultimately by likes, shares, comments, click-throughs and positive feedback. So that's so important as you design that target audience in the beginning and what type of ad you run. And then how that connects with the dynamic, what we call lead capture process. Because if you have a great ad and a great performance, but not a predictable way of capturing that information to give you the opportunity to generate or start the conversation, then there is a miss there. So you have to look at the big picture. And then I think the missing element or piece that most people struggle with is, okay, I've got the lead, I've got their address, I've got their email, I've got their phone number. What do I do? Well, that's basic human interaction psychology. And it's funny, but I think it's something that like a lot of people need training on that.
So let's talk about what Jen does. So Jen receives a lead. Yeah. Someone comes in, they're looking for, in this particular case, she's running the home seller ad. And I love this particular home seller ad because it's one where sometimes agents will say, oh, those don't work. Well, here's a great example of, I love that attitude because, you know, put that out there. Let everybody think that they don't work so that you can get in and take advantage of this funnel and,
it's hilarious.
Get some great results.
First of all, I want to challenge everybody on that because the elephant in the room is out there. Test out your market, particularly with one of these campaigns, especially with a campaign.
And don't test it where you like do a trial in one particular area and you go, okay, well, I'm not getting as many results as I need. That's not a great test. That's the beginning process of the test. Maybe we need to move a neighborhood over. Maybe we need to try the other side of the city.
Well, last year it was let's go small, right? Last year we were recommending our agents try a zip code, keep it under 50,000. This year with Facebook's algorithm, it's like, let's go big, 80 to 180,000, open it up to a county, tap into their algorithm. So again, if you're not spending thousands, tens of thousands, in our case, millions of dollars with Facebook, you don't get this unique opportunity of working with their account managers and understanding how Facebook is going to position you to win. But okay, back to the lead coming in. How do you get a response? Well, in this case, if they were looking to see either what their home was worth or how much it could sell for in this market, Jen just takes that information because that's what they're there for. And she sends an email, a short follow-up email that says, I've received your request for your home value. I need to do a quick walkthrough of the house. Okay, so let's just stop there before we even go any further because there's more to this email. So she's not saying, here's your home value. She's not saying your home is worth between 300,000 and 400,000. She's not, I mean, she's addressing that they want a home value, but she's saying for her to give a home value, I would need to do a quick walkthrough of your house. So I love that in a sense right away because it's basically taking control and saying you want a home value.
You want something? How serious are you?
And you can really get a feeling for who's actually serious and who's not at that moment. If they're a tire kicker, they're going to be gone. They're not going to respond, or it's just going to take a little bit more time. And Jen has a process. She uses a system called Lion's Desk where she will be able to drip valuable content. And over time, maybe they open that door to her. But for those people that actually want to know today, she's saying, here's how you get it.
And here's something that's really interesting too. I would say with Jen, we also know other agents that use a different approach and they do give the home value. So there are multiple ways that you can do it through the email. But what I think that where Jen wins in this strategy is two things. Is that because she's so good already at her follow-up, she's not going to drop people. She can actually go for a harder ask at the beginning and say to people basically, hey, great, I'm glad that you requested this. I need to do X, Y, Z, and there's more to the email, which we're going to get into.
Yeah.
But because she's going to be staying close to these leads over time, and she really does. She has personal emails.
She has an assistant.
She's going to bring in even the leads that she wasn't able to get information from today. She's going to stay close to them, and she's still going to add value. So she can actually position herself. I think if somebody goes for the hard ask at the beginning and they have no other touches, they're really relying on this as their only opportunity. So I think it's genius for her because of her. She's got great follow-up. She can go for an ask at the beginning, say, hey, this is what I need. And if she doesn't hear from them, she's still going to be staying close to them week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and lo and behold, they come back to her. And so I think this is a really good combination because of her style. So
yeah, so I'll continue. What she says is I need to do a quick walkthrough of the house. It only takes me a few minutes, right? So they're already putting the guard down. It's like, it's only going to take me a few minutes. What time is good for you? And then she gives them 3 different days and 3 different times that she has available in her calendar.
And I love that too, because that science is coming from, like, I remember reading that book, Conversion Code with Chris Smith, and he always gave 3 different options, because when you give 3 options, Actually, I think I'm trying to remember if it is 3 or 2. I think it is 3.
There are options.
Either way,
regardless.
The point
right?
is that by giving the options and set out options, if you give 1, people might say, oh, that doesn't work for me. But when you give 2 or 3 and they're set with exactly, it could be like Wednesday at 6, or after 6. It could be Friday before noon, or Saturday after 2, or whatever it may be. So you're kind of like, well, if I'm going to say no to all 3 of these, like which one? One of those has got to work, right?
Or you might like. All she's really doing is looking for dialogue. So it might be even that person's not ready. Oh, I was just curious, or whatever that response is. But now she can gauge the thermometer in the sense of like where their temperature is on this process. And then she can put them in those different buckets that she's going to have to know, okay, this person's 3 months out. I'm going to stay consistently in front of them every month with this type of content, or this person's 6 months out, or this person's a year out, or, whatever that is. You become a master at asking the questions. I think the key is starting the dialogue. So then whatever happens next is the ability to really build your, I want to say, we talk about the know, like, and trust model. It's the like and trust. How do you build that like and trust? Well, sometimes it takes a couple touches, 6 touches, 12 touches. I have an example talking to Nicole where it was 60 emails later the person finally let their guard down. So you do not know. You have to look at every single person as a relationship, and everybody's different. It's timing in their life, and you can't think of this type of lead generation as something that you need to get results immediately. It's actually about building your tribe, your sphere of influence, your database, and becoming an influencer.
No, agreed.
So, and then she said follow-up is key. So after 2 weeks, she actually sends them another personal email asking if they're still interested. And then she puts them on a drip campaign and puts it into her CRM, which is LineDesk.
But let's talk about one more thing too now. So she sends that first email. The email again was basically, I need these 3, like I need to come to your home, which we can send you, comment below and we'll send you the exact email. And these are the 3 times that I'm looking for. And then she sends them a text message.
Yes. So you're going to have a couple different scenarios. You're going to have leads that maybe you pull in an address and email some information about their home. You're going to have leads that are full submissions with phone numbers. But even with I learned a little bit about her. She treats the leads with a phone number exactly the same. So if she does get a phone number, she won't actually call them.
No, she'll never call.
She'll text them. And she'll say,
but I like what she texts.
Yeah, she says, she personally says, I don't like it when people call me, so I don't want to do to them. So she just texts them, I received your home value request, and let them know she's working on it. And then she sends, check your email, and we have a time, and please respond and let me know what works for you and what you'd like to do.
So essentially what she's doing when she's texting, all she's doing is using the text to point them back to the email. To remind them of the email and the times, and I like that. And in doing so, it's just kind of unifying that approach. It's reminding people like, oh yeah, I just need to respond to that email. Now I've got a text, and everybody reads text messages. And so they could respond either through the text or the email, but she says that has really helped people just respond and refine that email and then just respond.
Even in that moment, I think it's being really polite. It's being, it's not being that pushy salesman and saying, I need more info, I need these. Just, hey, check your email. Just want to let you know, received it. I'm working on your home value. So they'll go back, they'll review that. They'll say, okay, she's actually needs a few times. Maybe they'll actually go into her website, research her, see who she is. I mean, she has been, her mom was a realtor. She's a realtor. So I think she takes advantage of that. Real estate's in her blood. They can easily go to her Facebook page and see how much she serves the community. But yeah, it worked really well for her. And I mean, within a few weeks, I believe she had some really good dialogue with somebody. I want to say, and I recall this one, but I believe she has done a total of 7 transactions with StreetText in less than 6 months. 2 of those were sellers that became buyers.
Which is so common.
Yes.
So if you actually want to read her full profile piece, I'll post it in the description below. So if you want to find that, you can actually click on that and you can learn more about Jen and her story. And stay tuned and subscribe, because we're going to be covering more topics just like this.
Yes.
And again, comment below and I'll make sure we get you the exact email and text message that Jen sends. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us. I finished my coffee.
Enjoy your coffee.
See ya.